Good afternoon, guys. It's Workin bringing you a quick update on Bitcoin. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon, wonderful weekend. We're looking at Bitcoin to the US dollar. This is the 4-hour chart on Coinbase. I'll try to make this as quick as I can, guys. I know everyone's probably out and about over the weekend. It's beautiful where I am. Hopefully it is where you are. Appreciate all your comments, all your tips as usual, guys. I don't take any of those tips for granted. And if you do leave a tip, I understand some people like anonymity, but if you do leave a tip, guys, I know a couple people were very generous. I would like to give you a personal thank you on the channel. So if you do leave me a tip in the tip jar, which you can find the tip jar under the description of this video. If you do that, and if you feel comfortable, please by all means shoot me a direct message, shoot me a comment, let me know that you did, and I'd love to personally thank you. But for those of you that want to remain anonymous, please know that I do see that, and I truly, genuinely do appreciate that. But again, never feel obligated, guys. That's not why we're doing this channel here. All right, looking at Bitcoin to the US dollar 4-hour chart on Coinbase. Last time we spoke, guys, Bitcoin was sitting, I believe it was sitting right here at about, what were we sitting at, about 11,800-ish. I told you guys that we were watching a major range between 12,800 down to 11,500. That was the range I was going to be watching for a decisive break, one or the other, to continue for a continuation of the bullish momentum, or a shift back to continuation of the correction that we've seen here. Bitcoin did end up climbing a little bit, hit up to about 12,400-ish, and then of course we did come back down. I told you that it looked like we were going to retest that 11,500. That's exactly what did happen. 11,500 did hold fairly strongly. That is a decent sign. And obviously, guys, you can see right now we are consolidating. We're getting squeezed a little bit tighter. This really doesn't, it's kind of a sloppy wedge. I mean, I guess we could call it that. But the thing that I'm most concerned with, I shouldn't say concerned, the thing that I find a little bit the most interesting in all of this is we do have a very, very nice ascending support line here, guys. Tested numerous times since June the 10th. All held every time, came back down. That's exactly where price did find support. Coincided perfectly with our 10,400 support that we've been talking about for so long. So this is the trend line that I'm most concerned with. I do think, again, I don't mean to keep saying concerned. This is the trend line that I'm most interested in. It will turn to concern if we do break down below this trend line. Now, again, when I say turn to concern, I just mean as far as a continuation of this correction, which I do believe is a healthy correction at this point. I do not believe that, again, I know some people are saying that this is just a bear market rally. I don't subscribe to that. I don't think that's the case. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But for the reasons I pointed out yesterday, I just don't think that's the case. But what is the case is, as of right now, it does look like price is getting squeezed. You could call this a little bit of a wedge. Again, it's a bit of a sloppy one if it is. Nonetheless, we can draw it out here. We can see price. We're certainly creating a series of lower highs, higher lows, price getting squeezed. And, if this was, I would say that, price is very likely going to break out here in the next 12 hours, somewhere thereabouts, guys. Probably anywhere between its current price point and about 12 hours from now, it should make a larger move. By larger, I don't mean, again, we're only looking at the 4-hour here. This isn't a major wedge by any stretch of the imagination. Doesn't mean it can't kick off a major run. But again, we have to look at what's relative to the time frame, and this is just a 4-hour time frame. We also are getting some confirmation of a possible larger move if we look at our volume down here. We can see certainly our volume signature is dropping, no question about it. That would indicate possibly a larger move to come. So what am I watching here, guys? I'm going to be, as I said, I'm going to be watching this ascending support line here. If we do break down below 11,500, very likely be a quick drop. And I'm going to be watching very, very closely. I told you I left a comment. Let's see. And if you guys aren't following these guys, by all means, every now and then, if I don't post a video, I will post in the community section on YouTube. I posted a comment here saying if we drop below 11,500, or excuse me, if we rise above 12,430, which is our new local high, then it may continue up to test at least 13,000. Pardon me. If we did end up dropping below a 4-hour open and close below 10,800, we'd be dropping down to at least 10,000. I still do believe that's the case. Those are the areas I'm going to be watching very, very closely here. This local high now of 12,400. Is 12,800 still relevant? Yes, it is. Could it top there? Yes, it could. That would be the area that I'd watch for the bull trap. So let's say we break up here. We break up above 12,400. I do think that'd be if you're a trader, I might front run that, targeting at least 13,000 at a bare minimum. I do think it would come up to very likely 13,500, but at a bare minimum 13,000 if you're a conservative trader. I'd watch for that bear trap though right around 12,800. In other words, when it does break out here, guys, I would have a trailing stop loss as price does come up here, watching for a rejection at 12.8. It would be a very classic market maker's play to break price up. Everyone thinks it's heading up to that 13,500, maybe testing the high of 13.8 here, and then we just reverse course right around 12,800 and completely dump. That would be a typical market maker play, or they call that a bull trap. To the downside, I'm going to be watching this trade. If this thing does break down, I'm going to be watching this ascending support line here for a possible bear trap. That would be where everyone thinks it's going down, everyone starts shorting the market, and then we reverse course right around there. So those are the two areas that I'm watching, guys. But again, I very strongly do think that if we do break down below 10,800, we're coming down to at least 10,000. Could we hit 10,400? Yes, that's a possibility. Certainly a possibility, guys. No question about that. But I believe that the more probable case would be dropping down to at least that 10,000 area. As we pointed out yesterday, that would close the gap on CMEs. We covered CMEs in depth yesterday. If you guys missed it, I'm not going to cover them again today. Watch yesterday's video. But that would close that gap on CMEs that right around 10,000. So that would be a likely target if price does break down. Now, would it stop there? You know, I think I don't know, but I would not be buying at that area. I would scalp at that area. I would very likely scalp at that area, but I wouldn't be looking to add to my long position until we get down to about 9,400. And that's when I'll slowly start entering and adding to my long-term position. I'll scalp that area as well, but I'll add to my long-term position at 9,400, and I'll add to my long-term position again at 8,500, which again would close that second gap on CMEs if we did drop down to that 8,500 level. Remember, I'm splitting the two. If you don't know what I'm saying by adding to my long-term position versus scalping, again, I know you guys that are traders, that are veteran traders. Please indulge me here. I know you know what I'm talking about, but for the new guys in the channel, you know, scalping, day trading, that's getting in and out of a position very quickly. Scalping can be in a matter of minutes, you know, up to a day. Swing trading usually means you hold it for a period of maybe a week, maybe even a month or so. Adding to my long-term position, though, that's the position that I'm holding for, you know, at least a year, if not longer. And so that's when I say I would scalp it, yes, I've got two portfolios. I'd scalp these positions. I'd get in and I'd get out. 9,400, I'd be out by 9,800, but I would also add a little bit of that to my long-term position and my long-term hold that I would just hold for the long term no matter what happens come hell or high water. So anyway, just want to explain that very, very quickly for the newbies out there. All right, zooming all the way out on the weekly, what would happen here? You guys know my lower targets. You know what my targets are down there. Again, you know the CME chart. Watch yesterday's video if you want to know my lower targets, guys, based on that CME chart, as well as support and resistance. But I haven't discussed my upper targets very well if this thing does end up breaking to the upside, and if we take out this prior high of about 13,800. What was it on Coinbase? 13,830-ish, somewhere thereabouts. So to do that, let's go swing high from our $20,000 high down to our swing low of about $3,150. And of course, we've discussed this many, many times. Bitcoin, the support and resistance levels are lining up very, very well with our fib levels from our swing high to our ultimate swing high to our ultimate swing low. And we can see that we rejected right inside the golden pocket between the 618 and the 65 fib level. That's also known as the golden pocket. That's where the majority of corrections do correct to, or it's where, in this case, if we were looking at a bear market correction, that's where we would correct to. Again, I don't think that's the case. And for everyone that is talking about this being a bear market correction, if we do take out this golden ratio, I think that's going to put that to bed. But we'll have to wait and see a decisive break above. I think that's going to put that to bed. But until that happens, yeah, you could say they do have, you know, there is some validity to their argument. Again, I'm not in that camp, but I'm certainly could be proven wrong with that. But if we do take out this local high of 13,800, the next major area of resistance is going to be all the way up here. You can just see it here on the weekly chart where price created for about 3 weeks straight an area of resistance from December of 17 all the way to January of 18. This is an area that turned into a massive resistance, and of course we all know what happened after that. That also lines up again perfectly with the next major fib level, which is the 786. So this is going to be the next major target if we do take out this prior local high here. Now, does that mean it's going to just shoot right up there like a rocket? It could, but we do have a couple little areas in between here. We do have a little bit of potential resistance sitting at about 14,000, 14,500 to 14,900. That's a potential area of possible resistance if we, if we do take out that local high. But again, I would not expect. I would say if we do take out this local high decisively, if we get a daily candle opening and closing above that $13,830 high, I would say that probability would favor a rise to at least 14,800. But again, my next major target would be up here at about 16,200, possibly 16,000 for a decent psychological, especially if we get people front running that. But yeah, 16,000, 16,200 would be my next larger macro analysis, macro view target. All right, checking the 4-hour chart, guys. 4-hour chart, we are seeing Bollinger Bands very wide, but they are starting to slowly start to creep toward each other there. But again, we got a nice wide gap there. One of the things that's interesting to me, though, we do have the 21 period and the 8 period basically sitting right on top of each other. We've got the 55 coming up here. It does look like the 50 simple moving average also starting to converge with the 21 there. That would denote price getting ready to move. Now we're sitting literally right on top of that 21 period EMA on the 4-hour chart, guys. So again, that would denote basically this chart I'm agnostic on. This chart is an equal opportunity break to the up or to the downside. Let's go ahead and look at the daily, see if we can decipher anything else. Daily, we still have that 8-day EMA has still held as a very decent support here. Has not been decisively broken on the daily chart, guys. We've broken through a little bit by a wick, but we have yet to have a daily candle close, much less open and close below that 8 period or that 8-day EMA. And of course, we still have a lot of light between the between current price point and the 21-day EMA, which again, dropping below the 21-day EMA, that's when I start to get extremely concerned. That's when I think that maybe this bullish trend could be shifting. A decisive break below the 21-day EMA, not a break, not a wick, but a daily open and close below that 21-day EMA would get my attention. Looking at the weekly, we are still stretching the old Bollinger Bands out to the upside. Does look bullish, no question about it. The weekly chart looks bullish, even though we do have this long wick. Weekly chart does look like it may still have a little bit of power behind it. Checking longs and shorts. Longs got slaughtered here. Shorts actually just hanging in there. Everyone's just basically along for the ride with shorts. Again, that would have to favor the bulls. That would suggest, again, we do still have some momentum here going to the upside, without question. Again, doesn't mean that has to happen, but certainly looking at longs and shorts, that would favor a bullish break to the upside. All right, pulling all the way out on the monthly, guys, and I did want to show this to you. I haven't showed this to you before, but again, talking about those upward targets, you can see on the monthly, once you get past the weekly guide, just how bullish this monthly chart is. If we can get above this major area of resistance, and again, there was no question, I pointed this out before, guys, looking at the monthly chart, there was no question where this area of resistance was. We can see that the monthly chart, the body of this, basically from December and January, this is where the major resistance sat, right at the top of its current price point. And do you think that it is a coincidence that we came up and almost to the dollar hit perfectly on that on those two monthly chart areas of resistance on the body of these two candles back here in January and in December of 2017, January of 2018? No, it's no coincidence at all. So that does denote a major area that price needs to try to get above, and we're going to need a lot of volume to try to get above that. If we do decisively get above that, though, guys, a decisive break above that, which I would define by a daily candle opening and closing above the prior high here of 13,800. Again, you could see there's just no, on the monthly chart, there's just almost no registered resistance all the way up. I mean, even 16.2 here. You can see that the lid could very quickly get blown off this thing, and we could very quickly come back up and even test the prior $20,000 high. You know, if we can break above this zone. Now, am I saying that it's going to do that? I don't think so. Again, coming back to the weekly chart, you know, all of a sudden you can see that resistance comes right back, and you can see where we get 16,200. But looking at that larger macro time frame, the monthly chart, it is just once we clear this prior high, this prior local high here, I mean, things could get bullish very, very quickly. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things there, guys. Quickly looking at your comments. Jonathan says, Workin, you're my favorite crypto analyst on YouTube, edging out Crown. I don't know about that, man, but thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. Frog the Frog says, huge supporter, quick question. What are your thoughts on the only main real privacy coin out there, which is Monero, according to Frog the Frog? I like Monero. I'm bullish on Monero. I think there's going to certainly be a place for privacy coins, and I think Monero has brand recognition. I hold a little bit of it. I'm not a big investor in Monero, but yeah, I do think it has its place, and I do think, especially if governments continue to try to take centralized control over cryptocurrency and try to regulate it as much as they can, I think coins like Monero, and again, Monero has good brand recognition. I would think it would do very, very well. All right. Ballsy Post. I'm not even gonna say your name, man. All right, best crypto analyst out there. Thank you, Frank. Hey, you're welcome, man. I appreciate that, Ballsy. Okay. All right, AALS says, thanks, Workin. You've made me a better trader. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. That's really the best compliment you could give me. Thank you, AALS. I really appreciate that. Scott Lee says, please keep doing the comments. Really like them. Maybe put the time. That's a good idea. Put the timestamp on the comments. I may do that, Scott. Thank you. Ben says, you're a good analyst. I appreciate your style. Appreciate that, Ben. Suraj, I apologize if I'm saying your name incorrectly. I really do. No disrespect at all, man, but I appreciate your support. You say best TA analyst. Really appreciate that. Don't know if I'm the best, but I do appreciate your support. Thank you. Vic Wyatt says, Workin, thanks for going to the trouble of setting up this channel and sharing your knowledge. I found you by accident, and I'm so glad I did. You saved me from several potential costly mistakes already. One thing I will do this weekend is get out of some of the low cap alts. Low cap alts I thought were such a good idea, but because I believe you're right, this is not 2017 and will play differently. Thanks again for sharing your thoughts and analysis. I really look forward to each video because I always learn something each and every time. All the best to you. All the best to you, Vic. Thank you very much for sharing that. And yes, I do think that a lot of altcoins are going to go under. I don't think this is anything like 2017. As I've said before, I think you're going to get altcoins. The ones that are actually useful are going to take off, but a lot of them, the majority of altcoins, are just going to die. So I think Bitcoin is going to do much better than anybody expects. Jay Dabellio, or Dabellio, am I saying your name correctly? Anyway, I apologize. Very helpful. Let's see, Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. Wayne Roberts, incomparable BCA. Thank you, Wayne. Seriously, appreciate that. Kabir, thanks for the video. Working. Why does the CME gaps need to be filled? I've tried to research this, but haven't found anything substantial. Yeah, I tried to answer this question, and it's a very good question, and it really has a lot to do with market psychology. Markets like everything to markets like resolution. So anytime there's a gap in price, markets don't like that. Markets want to resolve that by coming back down and filling those gaps. Now, it doesn't mean it has to happen at any particular time, but typically those gaps often do get filled. Now, there are many different kinds of gaps. Some gaps are more probability says that they're more likely to get filled than others. Nothing is 100%. Gaps do not 100% have to be filled. That's not true. If anyone tells you that, that's completely false. But they often do, and probability does favor that they will get filled. And again, that has a lot to do with market psychology. That has a lot to do with buy and sell orders, depending on if you're in an uptrend, a downtrend. Gaps can denote major areas of buy orders or major areas of sell orders. And remember, major areas of buy and sell orders are what make up areas of resistance and support. So those naturally become targets, targets to the upside or targets to the downside. In this case, it would be a target on a correction or on a market reversal. It would take me a while to explain it. That's basically the simplicity of it. That's the simplest way I know how to explain it. All right, Arkansas says, yeah, appreciate your analysis. Thanks for sharing your intro. Question is, I have noticed EOS shorts are falling hard today and also for the past week. What could this mean for price? Let me take a quick look. EOS, there. Wow, you're right. Wow, that is a major drop for EOS shorts. That's about, holy crap. That's about an 84% drop in shorts. That is insane. What are longs? Let me check longs. And longs are basically unaffected. That's very interesting. Typically, I would say that is a bearish indication, but we're not seeing really any, we're not seeing it. Let me look at price action. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we've seen a massive spike in price and those shorts were getting liquidated. In fact, price was dropping as those shorts were dropping. Maybe people taking profit, hitting this. Now, of course, we know I've got this area of support marked off between 590 and 610. So as price hit that area of support, maybe everybody dumping their positions, expecting a major rally. But that is very, 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 very interesting. I wish I could give you an easy answer on that. We do have a bit of a trend line on price that it seems to be respecting fairly well, and did hold, if I could speak proper English here. Looking at the daily, we are below the 21-day EMA. It looks to me like we want to pop back up and test about 660 again. And if we can break above 660, I think we want to come back up to $7. Now, if we break this ascending support line here, I think it's going to be a very quick drop down to about at least 530, down to about at least 530 down there. And if 530 breaks down, I think it's a quick drop down to this target down here of about 450. Now, I don't think I'm bullish on EOS. EOS is one of the coins that I do hold, but that's very, very interesting. Yeah, typically that would be a bearish sign, but again, it didn't happen on liquidated shorts, and we aren't seeing long stack right along with that. So yeah, I think, again, I'm pretty agnostic on EOS at the moment. But yeah, that is an 85% drop in short. That could be insider trading. Maybe EOS is about to announce something that I have no idea what's happening, and they don't want to reflect it in price, but they want to get out of their shorts, expecting price to spike. I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, I'd like to sit here and BS you, but the truth is I don't know. All right, let me go ahead and... All right, back to your comments. Workin AALS says, will you stream on Voice? Yes, Voice is the new EOS social platform that's supposed to be coming out here. I will stream on Voice if they allow anonymous accounts publicly. Now, I know they're requiring KYC to make an account, but there's also rumor that they're going to have, you're going to be able to attach a publicly anonymous account to that. If I can do that, then yes, I will. If not, if there isn't anything like that, I think Voice is just going to turn out to be a big, health and fitness, little blogging platform. But I don't think, I think anonymity is very, very important for privacy, and I think privacy is very important for free speech. And if they're not going to have that, they're not going to have free speech, and they're going to have a very boring platform. So I would think that they would have to allow a publicly anonymous account. And if they do, I will publish on Voice. All right, Josh says, would follow you on Twitter, but deleted it because unnecessary emotion. Since then, it's been a runaway market. My trading has improved dramatically. I'm glad to hear that, Josh. Samuel says, Workin, my favorite crypto guy, and learning so much from you. I can't believe you're not the most popular guy. I appreciate that, Samuel. Yeah, I mean, if I had clickbait titles that said BTC was going to $100,000 tomorrow, or I don't do clickbait though. I always tell you guys, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys, and if people like it, great. And if they don't like it, they don't have to watch. I don't do this for the money. I don't make anything on these videos, man. I just do this as a way to give back to the community. So that's it. But I really appreciate your kind words, Samuel, and I'm really glad to help, or glad to hear that it's helping. John says, do you think Link will continue to climb past $3? Link. Let's look at Link. Let's see. Link to USD. I think it just got listed on Coinbase, so I don't think there's going to be much of a history on Coinbase. Let me see if I can go back to, let's go look at Binance. They probably have a history there. Yeah, they do. I mean, yeah, this thing just went completely parabolic, didn't it? I wouldn't chase price at this point. We are getting a pretty strong rejection there, but yeah, I would not chase price at this point at all. We did come up and almost hit that 2618 fib level from this from the last swing low to the swing, not even the swing high, but actually this is from our fib extension from this swing low to this prior high back down to this low. That's how you use the fib extension, guys. For those of you that aren't familiar with what a fib extension is, I'll just go ahead and quickly draw it out here. So you'd go from this from this swing low to the next swing high down to the corrective swing low, and it gives you kind of a fib extension there. And typically, what you're looking at here are three different areas. You're looking at the 1-to-1 ratio, you're looking at the 618, and you're looking at the 2-618. It'll usually hit somewhere close to one of those, and obviously we came up and almost hit the 2-618. Might it come back up again? It's possible. I mean, I don't know much about chain length. I really don't. Yes, this chart does look extremely bullish, but there's really not that much history to it. But yeah, this chart does look extremely bullish. Does look like it may want to pull back down to possibly 250. Well, I don't even want to say that. Possibly pulling back down. Let me go to the 4-hour. Yeah, it may want to come back down to about 250, or excuse me, 350. Would I be a buyer at 350? I'm not a big proponent to chasing prices, to chasing anything like this, and I don't even know why this pumped. So I don't know. But yeah, obviously it went above $3 to answer your question, and is it going to keep going? I think it wants to come back down and test 350. If 350 breaks down, I think it's a quick drop back down to 250. We'll have to wait and see kind of how that plays out. All right, let's see. Thanks, Workin. SS says, thanks, Workin. Always appreciate your analysis. What time did you record? You mentioned BT. Yeah, that was, I think I answered that question. I was referring to that 11,500 coming back down and retesting it. It was above 11,500 when I recorded, but I think I answered your question there. 12th Root, I'm liking the longer videos and the comments part. Thanks, man. I appreciate the feedback, 12th Root, and I will continue to do the comments, obviously. Wayne Boy says, love your video. Would love them more if you didn't talk so fast. Yeah, I apologize, man. That's the way, it would feel unnatural if I didn't talk fast. And it would feel unnatural if I didn't talk fast, and these videos would be a whole lot longer. So yeah, I'll probably maybe watch it on half speed. Yeah, that's all I know to say. All right, John says update. Yep, here's your update. Roy says the break above 4,200 starting the beginning of April is what appears to be the temporary top, basically 3 months. I don't follow the time cycles closely, but would seem to me, or it would seem we would need at least a month of correction to digest this move. Probably better the longer this period lasts. It would build another base. Or what I'd like to call a launch pad for the next big move. I think 8,500 will probably be my next big buy area. Yeah, 8,500 will be a good buy area. 9,400 is my next buy area. Doesn't have to correct that. We are now officially, I believe, in that bear market. And when Bitcoin starts going parabolic, it does not have to correct that 35 to 40%. Might it correct that far? Yeah, it absolutely might do that. And at some point, it certainly will. Is that going to happen now? I'm buying at 9,400 if it does get there. That's where I'm going to start to go in. So yeah, but you're right, Roy. A longer correction, a longer nice consolidation period, and dropping down to 8,500 to close those CME gaps would be bullish in my opinion if we could bounce off that area. We'll have to wait and see. John says, thanks, mate. You're welcome, John. So it says, did you record the support? I recorded it in 720p instead of 1080 because I wanted to upload it a little bit quicker. I apologize. Let me know if you guys would rather have me upload these quicker or if you'd rather have the higher resolution at 1080p. But 1080p takes so long for YouTube to process that, if you're watching these videos right away, you're not even watching them in very high quality, and actually you're going to get higher quality with 720p if you're watching it right away. Now, if you're watching this a couple hours after I post, then yeah, the 1080p is probably the better route. But if you're watching them right away, the 720p gets them up quicker and even gives you, if you're watching them right away, it gives you a better quality. All right, Jay says, thanks, you're welcome. Carl says, thanks, bro, you're welcome. Nicholas says, thank you, you're welcome. Let's see, talk a little slower, pauses in between. I just can't do it. I recommend watching it on maybe half speed if you want me to talk slower. All right, Aramo Rachez says, hi, Workin, thanks for your great work. I do think the same about the market. However, many people still can't or don't want to believe we passed the bear market. We're dropping all-time high volumes. This is crazy. We did more than 2x daily compared to the last bull market back in 2017. In addition, MAs look nice. Anyways, first subscriber to your channel, and I wish you all the best. Strongly believe you'll have more and more subs over time because of the focused content and your calm attitude, and just as like BTC crypto will be more and more adopted. I agree. Thank you very, very much, Arnaud. I really appreciate your support. Really appreciate those kind words. And yeah, I do agree with you. I do believe that we the bottom is in and the bull market has begun. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. We'll have to wait and see. El Visionaro says, cool guy. Thanks. JK says, oh man, if BTC goes below 6.5K, way below to 2.5K, you owe OptiArt Steve, Lord of the Rings, a lot of something extra gold, man. Don't know if he is allowed to drink already. but keep it in mind. Have a nice weekend. I like Steve OptiArt. I really do like him. He brings a totally different perspective with his fib rings. Again, I reference those fib rings. I think they're good areas to find possible areas of pivot areas. But do I think we're going at a 2.5K? No, I don't. But as I said, if we drop below 6.5, anything will be possible. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, Woosie, but I do like Steve. Steve's a great guy, and actually I have to give him a lot of credit for the for a lot of the followers I have. He recommended me, and I got a whole lot of followers. So yeah, he's a great guy, and I watch his videos, and I do enjoy him. All right, Wooski says, thanks, you're welcome. Murat gives me a thumbs up, and he says, nice video. Do you have any opinion on Matic or BTT? I don't know Matic. BitTorrent, I'm bullish on BitTorrent, and I do hold some BitTorrent. I do think that's a very good project. Time will tell, of course. You know, might it go under? Yeah. Do I hold a lot? A lot's a relative term, but yeah, I have a decent size in BitTorrent. I do think it's a good long-term hold, in my opinion. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things there. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, I'd appreciate an upvote if you have enjoyed this content. Till next time, guys, please trade safe. Take care of yourselves. This is Workin. Signing out.